Okay, at this point, I just don't know what my favorite episode is anymore. It's gonna be interesting to look back once the show wraps to try to rank them all. In the meantime, we just had ourselves another banger of an episode. What's going on YouTube? My name's Jay Lee and I like a lot of stuff. Today I'm talking about episode 6 of The Last of Us. What can I say? I am wholly and completely obsessed with the show. That may go without saying since I've made it a point to talk about it every freaking week. And honestly, because it's been as good as it has, it makes it easy to keep wanting to talk about it and reviewing it week to week. As I said at the start, episode 6 is another incredible episode that would easily be my favorite if it wasn't for episode 5. Despite all the extra stuff episode 5 gave us in terms of drama, action, and hordes of infected, I would still place this episode shoulder to shoulder with it in terms of quality and emotional impact. Episode 6, titled Kin, is almost entirely dialogue, with few moments of suspense and only a sampler of action at the end. Yet I still found myself enthralled by this episode. The Joel-Ellie stuff has grown and evolved pretty significantly since the first standoff in the hallway with Marlene. Now, the relationship is quite literally front and center as this episode focuses so much on the two of them conversing about seemingly menial things, like the rules of football, college life, and astronauts. These inconsequential moments in the game are cute because they flesh out the world and add weight to portions of gameplay that otherwise might be considered boring exploration stuff. Here, they're so important as you, the viewer, are watching these two develop into something they weren't. The constant back and forth pseudo-hostilities haven't gotten old because you're well aware of what's going on. You're seeing the chinks in his armor, and have witnessed the gruff demeanor slowly disintegrate. A real relationship is forming, and it's happening in spite of Joel's barriers. The humor in the show is something that still catches me off guard, and is such a welcomed addition to what I know to be a very dramatic story.
Damn.
You're no Will Livingston.
Yeah, but who is?
But don't worry, there's plenty of that too. Both Joel and Ellie bring the drama to this episode with a near exact recreation of the beloved scene where they're at odds with one another after she finds out he plans on ditching her with Tommy for her own good. It's an iconic scene that's done so much justice by Pascal and Ramsey, while also creating a beautiful moment of their own for this incredible freaking show. One aspect I find the show improves upon the game is the Joel-Tommy interaction. I'll get to Pedro Pascal taking everyone to acting school in a sec, but I'm actually referring to how things played out at the bar from their first drink together to the talk later on in the work shed. The show creates a much more likable dynamic between the brothers. There's still tension and resentment between them following their reunion, but it's less male bravado as it was in the game, and now it's more grounded, more believable. Both scenes with Tommy are fantastic for different reasons. The latter is the one that has fans talking the most, as it may quite possibly be Pascal's finest performance to date. The man has been celebrated for making a masked Mandalorian emote better than anyone in the Star Wars universe. But here, he's unobscured and just flexing on everyone. The talk with Tommy in the shed was beyond gripping. It had me desperately clinging to every word, while my heart broke more with every word I took in. 6 episodes in and I continue to praise the writing, so clearly these showrunners know what the F they're doing, because lines like this,
"The only people who can betray us are the ones we trust,"
could easily sound preachy or pretentious if it wasn't for the great actors selling the dialogue. And as I said before, this episode is extremely dialogue heavy, so it is an absolute pleasure to watch the interactions and feel so deeply invested in them. The way the episode ends on a massive cliffhanger also cements this episode as one of, if not my favorite episode to date. Compared to last week's fully loaded entry, this episode might feel a little bit light in comparison. But even then, I'm giving episode 6 of The Last of Us a 10 out of 10. I hate that there's only 3 episodes left, but I also love the fact that we're watching a story that has a predetermined beginning, middle, and an end. There's no Walking Dead effect with drawn out seasons, bullshit villains, and what have you. The story being told is going to end, and although it might pain me to get there, I'm also really excited to experience what's shaping up to be a masterpiece of a season. So, come back soon to catch my thoughts on all the Last of Us episodes I haven't talked about yet.